everyone, Once Bitten here. So I went to a one-day tournament yesterday, a preparatory tournament for Brawler Bash. So the games are all 3,000 points. The scenarios are the same as I've been playing in my last several games, and we have a stack of cards you can use once per tournament that give you extra scenario objectives and sometimes extra benefits. So it's funny because it's a very, very small tournament. I want to say there were 7 people who showed up, and just because it's small doesn't mean it wasn't competitive, because there were certainly some top-notch players, or the kind of players that are at the top tables of our local GTs. So first player, you've seen this army or a similar one before. I've played him a couple times recently. Empire versus Empire. Now, of the 7 armies there, 3 were Empire, and I think 2 were Warriors. And let's see, there was a Vampire Counts, and I'm blanking out on the other one. Anyway, so very Empire heavy. So this first game is Battle Line. The scenario is that you can get extra points for getting a unit with Fortitude, meaning a banner or your general, into your opponent's deployment zone. You get, I think, 250 points if your opponent does not get Fortitude into your deployment zone. And there's points for something else that I just can't remember right now, and it doesn't matter. I think it's keeping your largest unit over half points. So I think that'd be my Halberdiers, if that's what it is. Anyway, in the cards, we both play the same card, and it's the card that says you automatically win the turn to go first. So we had to roll off, and my opponent won first turn. So let's review the list. In the building, he has a Hellblaster volley gun. Behind him, behind the building, out of sight, is Master Engineer. He's got a unit of Vanilla Knights, a cannon. Then he's got, if left of this picture, it's actually a unit of 10 archers with 2 5-man archer detachments directly in front of him. In with the 10-man unit are 2 wizards. There's one, I think, just out of sight here, and if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. He's somewhere among those archers. But he's got a level 2 heavens with a scroll, and then he's got another level 2 heavens with that unit. Then he's got his Knight Bus of Doom. It looks like there's 13 of them, and he's got his Battle Standard Bearer and a Warrior Priest. There's a cannon behind him, a steam tank, a unit of demigriffs. Now this guy, when we've been playing, he's been using proxies like my Bretonians and stuff like that, because his wife has been painting this army. It looks beautiful, and it's just not quite done. That's why the demigriffs are being proxied by the bases, because they're in the midst of being painted. We all have 2 weeks to get their armies completely painted, and we're all scrambling to do so. Anyway, there's another unit of Vanilla Knights. Behind that house is Karl Franz with Galmaraz on Deathclaw. It's being proxied just by some Lizardman Stegodon, I think. Yeah, so he's hiding behind the house. He's hidden from 2 of my cannons, but you can't hide from all 3. I've got my steam tank in the middle of the table, a cannon near the corner. The cannon in my left flank can see him. He's got another unit of demis, and we go to my side. So cannon in the corner, Master Engineer with the Hellblaster volley gun, a unit of demigriffs. Now, my demigriff units do not have banners. I don't know if my opponents do or not. I just don't remember. We've got some handgunners in the building. They've got the only command they have is a captain, but he has the Hochland long rifle. Then I've got a unit of knights, and this is a new thing I'm trying out. I actually put them in kind of a Bretonian lance formation. But if you see my Tactica on formations, and I think it's called Movement Tactica, whatever, I talk about getting out of the mindset of always having the width that gives you rank bonuses, because I realize this unit, because of the Crown of Command, does not need rank bonuses, and because of the killing power of Karl Franz, I'm not really worried about Steadfast, because if I get tied up with knights, he's just going to chop through them. And I like having all my characters in the 2nd rank so that I have more flexibility in choosing where they go when I get into combat. It also brings my lines a little bit closer together. The downside is that if somebody has cannons, they can kill a couple more knights than they otherwise could, but I'm rocking the Lure of Life, so I'm not as worried about that. Plus, I consider this knight unit a character delivery system. Anyway, 1 horde of halberdiers. I decided that infantry just doesn't do well in this meta, so instead of having 2 units of infantry, I'm down to 1 unit. There's a hurricane behind it. They have a detachment of 5 archers, and with those archers is my level 4 Lure of Life. You can't see him. He's on the ground next to the hill. There's a steam tank, another unit of 4 demis, a cannon, and a unit of 10 archers with a banner. Their job is to go to the other deployment zone and get me 250 victory points. So I think my opponent's going to have a hard time justifying allocating resources towards killing him. And so they're just gonna really they could just kind of hide behind this building here until the end of the game and then scoot forward and give me those points. And that's why that's one of the reasons why they're in the list. So top of one, my opponent gets to go first, and he really just kind of hangs back. I don't know who has whom outranged. I have two cannons and a steam tank. He has two cannons and a steam tank. We both have a Hellblaster. You know, so but he's opting to just kind of stay back. He pushes his redirectors forward. Turn one. Okay, so he shoots his cannons at my knight unit. He hits he hits all four going down my ranks. One of them crosses over my battle standard bearer. I fail my lookout, sir, and I lose my battle standard bearer turn one. Absolutely, absolutely sucks. That means for the rest of this game, no reroll. Now, Karl Franz gives a leadership 10, 18-inch bubble, which is awesome, but you never know, and that really hurt. I mean, I had to take a panic test. You never know. I could roll a 12 right there and been out of the game. So that was the risk I took in going to this formation, in the sense that I lose a couple more knights, but the couple more knights don't bother me. Losing my BSB, that really hurt. He also just in the magic phase, even though I have a level 4, he has a level 2. I failed to dispel the first spell, and so he kind of had a dominant magic phase, but didn't do too much. But basically, the one cannon that could see Karl Franz, he got Ice Shard Blizzard off on it, so there's a 50-50 chance I won't be able to shoot with that cannon. His Hellblaster, even though we're more than 24 inches apart because of deployment, he's in a building, and the building extends into that middle area, so he actually can shoot me on turn 1. And luckily for me, he actually did not roll very well. So he does a total of 5 wounds to the Demigryphs, and they pass their panic. So that was a little bit scary. So, bottom of turn 1. Yeah, I move up, as you can see. I mean, it's funny because I don't want to move up so close to get charged by the steam tank, but I like the idea of pushing towards him. I'm not anxious to get my halberdiers in the woods where they will lose any chance of being steadfast, but I like to get them right up next to the woods so then I have some options. I also want to push up so my level 4 can get within 24 inches of his Night Bus, because I'd like to cast Dwellers Below on that. Over here, I'm being somewhat aggressive with my Demigryphs. I'm not worried about his Knights charging me. I am worried about the Hellblaster shooting me, but I'm going to shoot it. A War Machine in a building is just going to die to cannons, because if a cannon just has to hit that building, which is fairly easy to hit, and then instead of only getting one hit on it, I do d6 hits to the unit. So I have lots of chances to wounds, lots of chances to roll d6. So I think that the Hellblaster is going to die. And oh, I guess I should have said too on his turn 1 when I showed the picture of the demis. Here, let's go back up. Oops. Yeah, what I was showing here is not only the demis, the cannon's gone. There was a cannon right behind those demis. So he got that turn 1 too. So that was somewhat painful. Over here, yeah, so the steam tank could shoot at that building, but the my other cannon's dead, and the cannon in my lower left-hand corner is a 50-50 chance he won't be able to shoot, and I fail it, so he can't shoot this turn anyway. So it looks like that. Yeah, steam tank opens up. I didn't know how to play this, because there was actually a way I could shoot and hit the building and overshoot past it. But I think you can't. We both decided you can't do that, because I think buildings are treated as impassable terrain. So it didn't matter, though, because I killed the Hellblaster, and then his Master Engineer panicked and fled off the table. So that's helpful. That saves my Demigryphs. Over here, so I 6 dice, Dwellers Below, I get Irresistible Force. He's basically following my strategy. He's stopping Throne, and then he's making me risk miscast. So Dwellers Below gets cast. I kill, I think, 4 knights, maybe 3, something like that, and I kill his Warrior Priest, which was nice. I think I would have rather killed his Battle Standard Bearer, but beggars can't be choosers. So, I mean, whatever. That unit is much less of a worry. And for my troubles, my Wizard takes a wound. I lose a few Halberdiers. I don't lose a Knight. I hit one of them with a large template. Obviously my level 4 does not get sucked into the void. The Archer detachment all got hit by the large pie plate, and they all died. So he is without a supporting unit, and my Hurricanum took a wound. So Here we go with my opponent's turn. He moves his redirecting knights on the left up in front of my demigryphs, and he can countercharge with his other 2 units of demigryphs, which isn't wonderful. Moves his steam tank up just d6 so he can shoot again at my knights. His redirectors are up where you can see them, and they will be stubborn in the woods. He's very aware of that. And he moves 1 wizard into the building in the top right, and his redirectors come up right in front of my demis. He didn't charge. I'm not sure why not. I just don't remember. I don't remember at the time thinking it was unusual, so he probably explained why. So Karl Franz moves out from behind the house up to the middle of the table. I don't know if he's doing this. He's probably doing this to set up a charge later, probably trying to get him and get Deathclaw into the steam tank, because Karl Franz can kill a steam tank within a couple rounds of combat, and then eventually get the Deathclaw into the halberdiers. That's my guess of what he's doing there. So if my demis charge his knights, there's a chance they can overrun into the flank of Karl Franz. I'm not sure I'd want to. I'm not sure how well that would go for me, but it could happen. So it's looking like this here on the left. So he decides his demigryphs move up this time, and it's just perfect for my Hellblaster just to blow them away. The problem is he starts shooting, and he's obviously going to target that Hellblaster. So what happened was actually kind of weird. He hit the Hellblaster, but rolled a 1 to wound. Then he hit the Master Engineer, and I just automatically took a Lookout Sir roll, and so that hit the Hellblaster and killed it. And then the idea occurred to me is like, do I have to take a Lookout Sir roll? And we didn't look it up because I said I'm not going to take back that decision. That's the way it is. My opponent was very gracious. He was like, I think you don't have to take it, and you're welcome to go back and just take the Henry Master Engineer. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. So anyway, that's Hellblaster's gone. So now those demis on the left are a threat again. So he takes all his shooting, which isn't much, and they're hitting on like 8s. But you know what? You have enough shots, you never know. So he's shooting at my wizard, and he puts another wound on him. So he came real close to killing my level 4. As long as he's alive, I'm not worried about it. I have a magic phase. I can regrow wounds. You can see the steam tank shot at my knights, killed a couple more. Again, I'm not really worried about it. Those archers aren't really blocking my knights, because when my halberdiers charge the archers, they have to scrunch together, and that leaves my knights open to charge his steam tank. And if they were blocking it, I would probably just charge Karl out alone, but they're not. Bottom of turn 2, demis charge the redirectors on the left. Karl Franz and his friends charge the steam tank. Halberdiers charge archers. Demis on the right charge the vanilla knights. I'm actually really liking my position here. The only thing I'm really worried about is my demigryphs on the left, because they're going to beat those knights, and then I really can't avoid a countercharge by 1, if not 2 demigryphs. So that I'm not happy about. Let me think. The Karl Franz, I'm not worried about the steam tank, except the odds are I don't kill it. I bet I get that thing down real low, but I'm probably not going to kill it. And then he's going to be able to countercharge me. I can make sure it's in my front, but I'm no longer stubborn. The BSB has the crown of command, and so I'm worried about next round of combat losing with Karl Franz's unit just to combat res. So, and here's just hoping that my steam tank and the cannon on the left, between the 2 of them, can take out Karl Franz. I really need that threat off the table. So it looks like that. There's this. And yeah, so the steam tank shoots, fails to wound Deathclaw, but it does hit Karl Franz, gets past his ward save, but then I only do 2 wounds to him, which just blows. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. So then my other cannon shoots and rolls a 1 to wound Karl Franz, but does wound Deathclaw and then does like 6 wounds to him. So overall, you know what? I'm not going to complain. So Karl Franz is on foot with 1 wound left. So now he can still kill some stuff, but he is very, very vulnerable. So I'm not going to complain a bit. Yeah, I felt that went very nicely for me. You can see his cannon turned around on his turn. He could have shot me more. He still has a steam tank and 2 cannons, and he's getting some misfires there, so that helps. Over here on the left, demis kill the knights, and I just redirect so that if he wants to charge me, at least he's in my front. The only advantage I have is that I'm within 6 inches of the Hurricanum, so he's going to have +2 strength on his riders on the charge, and he'll have a charge. And he might have a banner, I just don't remember. but I'm going to have +1 to hit, so yeah, I don't care. I'm still nervous about it. Steam Tank is down to 2 wounds. And over on the right, yeah, the demis don't even kill the knights. That was you know what? At the time, I was very unhappy with it. But a lot of times, things like this happen, and it's actually for the best, because if I can win on his turn, that allows me to reform and get the charge I want on my next turn. If I win on my turn, then on his turn he can move out of my way. He can shoot me with cannons. He can do a lot of stuff. So at the time, I felt that they should have broken him, but uh, whatever. The halberdiers kill the archers. They were fighting. The steam tank lays down the flame template on the other archers and kills all of them, which is kind of funny. Didn't think they would do that. So his redirectors are gone. We go to top of turn 3. His steam tank's down to 2 wounds. I think he only goes for 4 steam points, and he gets the thing where he takes D3 wounds and gets D3 steam points. He rolls a 2, and the steam tank just dies. So that's before movement. And okay, so this is the craziest bad luck. Oh my gosh, let's just start on the left. So his far left demis charge my demis. Like I said before, I'm nervous about it. His other unit demis charge Karl Franz. That could go bad for me, but I'm not really worried about it. Karl Franz is at +1 to hit. He's hitting on 2s, auto wounding, no armor saves, D3 wounds each. If he can kill a couple demis before they get to go, I should do okay there. Here's the crazy thing. Battle Standard Bearers, unit of knights, charge my halberdiers. I'm not really that worried about it, to be honest. I think we're just going to tie each other up for a while, because I'm going to be steadfast on a 10. I'm +1 to hit, and I'm strength 4, so I'm going to wound a bunch, but he's going to make a lot of saves. But he's not going to break me anytime soon after the charge, whatever. Regardless, he charges in, he hits the woods, he has to take, let's see, he has 10 models, he has to take 10 dangerous terrain tests, he should fail 1 or 2, he fails 3. That's not crazy, that's just bad luck, that's just kind of bad luck. But then he has to take a panic test, he's on a 10 with a reroll, and he fails it. Then he has to run away from the nearest enemy unit, which is my knights, and he runs like you can see him. It's the worst luck. Like, my opponent's like, "Are you kidding me? What? What just happened?" Because now the demigryphs, because I was locked in combat, now if I win, I can just on my next turn charge his knights, push them right off the table. That's just awful. There's an archer detachment, Karl Franz, and one of his level 2 heavens is in with them. And again, there's another level 2 heavens in the building in the top right. The game just really swung my way. Well, it depends. Like I said, I mean, the BSB and the knights with my halberdiers doesn't greatly concern me. In fact, if he gets in there, and as long as I stick on a 10, my steam tank can charge in the flank next turn, and I am probably going to win it then. Nevertheless. So now at this point, the only thing I'm really worried about is the demigryph battle on the left. During shooting, he shoots my Hurricanum, hits it, wounds it, and does 3 wounds. It's sitting on 4, it has 1 wound left. That's one thing I like about the Hurricanum when people shoot at it. It has a lot of wounds, and there's a lot of times when they get it down, but they can't quite kill it. And if it's important enough to me, I can grow it back on my turn through the Lore of Life lore attribute. After combat, it looks like this. Karl Franz did exactly what I hoped he would do. He actually did better, I think. I killed 2, and I think one of his demis is down to only 1 wound remaining. The crazy thing is, he allocated all his attacks on Karl Franz and did 2 wounds. I don't know if that's crazy. I don't know what the odds are there. Karl Franz has a 2-up armor save, so against demigryphs, against the mounts, he's on a 5-up, and then he has a 4-up. That was really scary, because without Karl Franz, that unit does nothing. With 2 wounds, again, I can heal it through the lore attribute, so I'm okay there. Demi's on the left. He only does 1 wound to my demigryphs. I do 4 wounds to him. He just kind of fluffed his attacks, and that +1 to hit was hugely helpful for me. And then him failing armor saves. So this turn was abysmally bad for my opponent. I mean, devastatingly bad. So bottom of 3, it's my turn. Yeah, the demis charge his knights, push him off the table. They redirect into his archers with Karl Franz. I go through the woods. I take 2 dangerous terrain. I fail one of them, which kills 1 demigryph, which is really bad. Really bad. So Karl Franz is going to go first, and very likely could kill both my demigryphs before I get to attack. It's a chance I'm willing to take. Let's see. What I'm hoping there is just to, Karl Franz has 1 wound left, so I'm going to attack him as much as I can. We'll see how it goes. Everything is as you can see it. Yeah, there's that. And yeah, the bad luck continues for my opponent. So the Demigryphs charge into Karl Franz and the archers. I forget to allocate attacks on his wizard, but I was really focused on trying to kill Karl Franz, and I couldn't kill him. I did put, I think, some attacks. I think only one demi could attack Karl, so I put, one demi on rank and file. The stomps helped. I won combat by, I think, 3. Karl swung at my guys. He had 4 attacks hitting on 3s, so he should hit 2 or 3 times. He hits once. It auto wounds. He does D3 wounds, but he rolls a 2. He doesn't even kill the Demigryph. I win by 3. He forgot, and we both forgot, that Karl Franz basically has the cold-blooded rule. So he rolled 2 dice, needing a 7, and he fails it and gets run down by demis. Jeez, this is awful. Just awful. There's a cannon gone. I don't know, probably was shot somewhere. The Karl Franz finishes off his Demigryphs. My other Demigryphs, they're winning combat now, but I turn to face him with Karl just to make sure that I win that. And yeah, it looks like that. Yeah, it looks like Magic Phase I didn't regrow any wounds. I'm not sure why or how that was. Top of turn forward. I mean, my opponent really doesn't have much movement to do. He does shoot at my Hurricanum and gets those points. After combat, my demis beat his demis and failed to run him down, so it looks like that. So on my turn, I'm going to charge the Warrior Priest out. I don't want to charge with the demis and push him through the house, because then my other demis could charge him, but it would push him to the side, and they're just not going off the table. So I'm going to charge with my Warrior Priest, which will push him to the left, and we measured the wheel with my demis, and they can easily get past the house, so then the demis will charge them, and might push them off the board, might catch them, but that's what I'm going to do there. Bottom turn 4, I do exactly that. The Demigryphs catch his demis on the left. My archers charge the building on the right. He has got his level 4 in there. Yeah, there's nothing left really to do here except mop up. Looks like that. His cannon is now dead. My archers win combat, but I can't pursue him. He flees. He doesn't get off the table, but he's fleeing right there. I mean, this is just mop up. So basically, at the end of turn 4, we just called it. All he has left is level 2. He will rally or not on his turn, and it just doesn't matter, because if he doesn't rally, my steam tank's going to plow into him. My archers are going to block him, so he can't escape if the steam tank doesn't get it. And Karl Franz is, I mean, he can't escape. And so yeah, I think you can max out. There's a cap in these games at 5,000 points. I didn't quite get 5,000, but I got like 4,950 something. I got every single scenario objective point possible. Yeah, it was big. So I'm easily in first place for the tournament. So I go to my next game. I'm just going to tell you about it here because there's no battle report. The guy I'm playing he's going to be a fantastic player. He's a really good player. He works in a game store. He plays tons of games, but he's just been into Warhammer Fantasy for a month or two. I've played him before, but he's always borrowing armies because he doesn't have any yet. So he has somebody bringing down an Empire army for him to play at Brawler Bash. So in this tournament, he's literally just using paper as proxies. And I figured, you know what? If I make a battle report out of that, I'm just getting so many down votes. I don't feel like dealing with it. So I had a rubber match, a mirror match, turn 1 with Empire, and this is what happened. So then I have to play Empire turn 2. I have to. I mean, whatever. I'm playing Empire turn 2, playing Karl Franz again, and yeah, I don't know. Same kind of story. He has a slightly different list than me. Everything went my way, and I beat him pretty well. I didn't get quite this many points, but going after that, I've played Empire twice, and I'm easily in first place of the tournament going into the game 3 against a Warriors of Chaos army, which will be my next battle report. Hey so everyone, Once Bitten here. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has several functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like the video, you can leave a comment, you can favorite the video. I want you to know that I appreciate it when you do things like that. It feels much more interactive than simply me talking to a screen. So if you're willing to do so, please like, comment, and favorite the videos. Subscribe to the channel if you want, and you certainly are welcome to share this video on your blog or other websites if you are so inclined. Again, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.